Hello, friends. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. We have been busy around here with Christmas preparations and doing our Christmas curriculum. So that's why you haven't seen me post as often as I would like to. It's just been a very busy season, as I'm sure most of you already know. The kids are learning about Brazil and Germany today in their Christmas curriculum. We have switched over from our normal homeschooling curriculum at the beginning of December to a Christmas around the world curriculum. The kids are learning about holiday traditions and how other countries around the world celebrate Christmas this time of year. I wanted to keep today's video fairly simple, kind of just a what's happening around our house type of video and what we've been up to. And then I'm also going to share a from scratch dinner recipe with you. Tonight I'm making for dinner a large lasagna. I'll also do a salad and some garlic bread. I'm starting with the sauce now. I have ground beef cooking in a large pot on the stove, and then I'm going to dice up some onions to go in there as well. I'll add salt, pepper, and garlic, and then I'll put in the rest of the ingredients for the sauce and let it slowly simmer for a little bit while we finish up our schoolwork for the day. If you saw my weekly meal plan in my previous video, you'll notice that this recipe is not on there. I was planning on doing a ravioli lasagna, which is something that I saw online, but I ended up not getting any of the ingredients for it. I was just preoccupied, I guess, with shopping with my kids, and I always end up forgetting something. If you're a mom, you know. So anyway, I ended up forgetting a lot of the ingredients for that recipe, and today I'm just kind of winging it. I'm just using whatever I have on hand, which ended up being 0 noodles, which is fine because I do a lot of noodles from scratch often. I've just never done lasagna noodles. So I will post the recipe that I used for the noodles down below in the description box if you would like to try making them yourself. They ended up turning out fabulous, but that's why you won't see a normal lasagna on our meal plan for the week. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you'll know that I missed a lot of videos last week. However, you'll probably also know what we have going on in our family. I actually was supposed to post this video last week, which is why I'm still on last week's meal plan for this video. But my emotions with my son's birthday coming up and just Christmas, the first, holidays that we have without him, and just everything, just being busy with everything, us having family coming into town. It just became really overwhelming last week. So I just took it easy. I filmed when I could and I posted when I felt like I could. So that's kind of why I was a little absent last week. I just wanted to explain if you noticed. But anyway, this is our elf that we do every year. I've been doing it since my oldest was really little, and he is about to turn 15 at the end of this week. So I've been doing it since he was really, really little, like toddler age. So I'm kind of stuck doing it still. This is one of their favorite activities to do each year with the elf, though. We plant magical peppermints in a cup of sugar, and then we sprinkle you can do either Christmas sprinkles, but I didn't have any on hand, so we sprinkled cinnamon on top of the sugar. And then throughout the day, the peppermints will grow into candy canes, and they'll slowly see the candy canes rise out of the sugar. They get so excited. Like I said, it's one of their favorites. This was the Christmas curriculum that we did today, and I have to admit, my kids were most excited to do Germany for school because they were so intrigued by the story of Krampus. So that was one of the things that they were learning about today, and it was probably their favorite day so far with the curriculum. If you've been around for a while, you'll know that I love ordering books online on Thrift books. This is not sponsored in any way. I just really love sharing about them. You can get books from them for just a couple bucks. They offer new and used, and you can choose what kind of quality that you want the books to be in. I usually will get more of a used book because I love the character that it has. I love how you can open a book and there be notes and drawings sometimes from previous readers, but a lot of times they come from libraries and schools around the US, and they're usually less than $5. So these were some of the books that I got the boys for Christmas. I have already started wrapping gifts for under our Christmas tree, but I know in another video I mentioned how I wanted to post a what I got my kids for Christmas video. And I know that I'm cutting it super close, but I know that when I used to watch those videos, it was so hard to find videos that were like for older kids and for younger kids. A lot of times you got either or, and for the older kids, it was really very far and few between. There was hardly any that you could find, or at least that I was able to find. It was just a lot of videos for like toys for younger kids. So I know that I am cutting it close, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually in the middle of taping a like wrap with me video, and then in that video I'll also share like what I got my kids for Christmas, and that way if you need any last minute ideas for kids, grandkids, anyone that you're buying for, maybe you'll be able to get an idea from that. But anyway, I am posting that probably either tomorrow or Wednesday. So either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, I'll end up posting that video for you. So at least you'll have a little bit of time if you do still need ideas for any last minute gifts. I don't know if you can really see them, but in the far left of the video, you might be able to see the candy canes poking out of the cup at this point. This was a little later in the day, so the candy canes have had like all day to kind of grow, and we have them grow slowly throughout the day. So the boys were really excited when they came in from playing outside and saw them this big. They've already asked to eat them, so they were probably going to be disappearing here shortly from the video. If you're wondering what I've been doing while I've been sitting here rambling this entire time, I'm making the dough for the lasagna noodles. So I'll mix the dough together, and then I'm going to separate it into 4 pieces. I'll roll each one out into like very thin sheets of dough, and then I'm going to cut them into like lasagna shaped noodles. I also do end up rolling them out again slightly after I cut them, just to get them as thin as I was wanting them to be, and then I'll start assembling the lasagna. I know I've talked about rolling pins in other videos. I have this one, and I don't even know if it's technically a rolling pin. I used to have rolling pins, and then my daughter ended up using them for an event that she was in over the summer. She altered them to be like bracelet holders because she was doing baked goods and jewelry that she made from scratch. So anyway, it was a really cute idea. She made them into bracelet holders, and it altered them, and now I don't really have rolling pins anymore aside from this one. But I need to invest in another rolling pin, possibly 2. And I know that you can get them for like no money at a thrift store. I just need to remember to actually look for them when I'm there, because this one is never easy to use. You have to push down so hard and it doesn't evenly roll. I also don't know if you can see here, but I always wear a Morse code bracelet on my right hand at all times. It's for my son, so I never take it off, and the chain for it is a little too long, so every time I use this rolling pin, it rolls over the chain on my bracelet and then kind of like traps my wrist. It's just such a pain. I should have asked for one for Christmas, but I didn't, and I'm seriously now regretting it. But anyway, I will probably end up getting one soon here. Next time I go thrift shopping, I'm gonna make it a goal to actually look for rolling pins. And I'm thinking this coming year, you'll probably start seeing me use rolling pins again. So while I'm rolling out this dough, I wanted to share some exciting news. Well, I'm excited about it. Something that I have been looking forward to and wanting to do for quite a while, especially since probably even before we moved down here, I've been wanting to purchase a big amount of land, and then I'm wanting to have like a milking cow, possibly two, and then some chickens, just kind of not so much a hobby farm, but kind of. Since we moved here, I have really been trying to work on homesteading skills and just how to make our life simpler and just living off of what we create and not so much, going to the store and buying those items, and just really trying to live that homesteading lifestyle that has always been a huge goal of mine. And I've really focused the last couple years on making a lot more homemade, making breads and noodles and just from scratch meals. I'm slowly learning all those techniques and stuff over time, and I feel like the next step is to start building a homestead. So my husband and I kind of were talking the last while, it's been a while, but we've been talking about actually working towards that goal, and starting working on that this coming year. We have a piece of land that we have been looking at in this area for probably over a year now. It is still available, and it is really like an ideal piece of land. So anyway, like I said, it is nothing extreme right now. I'm just excited to begin that process and working towards something that we have really wanted to achieve for a while. So I'm hoping to make some progress on that goal over the next coming year and be able to share that with you. Okay, so I went ahead and I rolled out all of the noodles again so I could make sure that after I cut them, they were as thin as I was wanting. I don't want them to be super thick like the egg noodles that I sometimes make on this channel. I wanted them to pretty much be similar as possible to lasagna noodles. So I made them very, very thin, and kind of knowing that they'll thicken up some as they cook. And a lot of these I also did cut in half so they weren't super long. These noodles are not at all perfect. I find a lot of beauty in being imperfect with cooking. I cook a lot from my heart, so I will not waste a ton of time trying to make these noodles perfect at all. They will all be piled together and no one will notice the imperfections anyways. I went ahead and included the audio in this next clip. I just thought it was kind of funny. My 7-year-old son Lincoln had come inside and he was asking me something. I'll explain a little bit more after, but they were playing outside, and some of the stuff that they come in and ask is just so silly to me, so I wanted to share. Yeah? No, it's too cold out there for that. Yeah, it's too cold to be squirting people with a squirt gun, Lincoln. Why can't you just pretend to be shooting pretend zombies?
I want to use water.
No, it's too cold.
Man, I wish you could use water on cold days too.
Sorry. Sorry. So just for a little bit of context, my kids usually are always playing outside. We do not often have our TV on unless it's playing music. And my younger kids don't have tablets or anything like that, so they're always begging to go outside and play. It is freezing outside, however, and that does not bother them though. They're always bundled up and running around, but the last few days they have been coming in and repeatedly asking if they can put water in these squirt guns so that they can squirt them. And my thing with that is I don't want them squirting each other and then getting sick because it's so cold out and they've been squirting each other with cold water. So I always just tell them no. We aren't playing with squirt guns anymore this year. We're going to have to wait until it warms up. But it doesn't fail. Every single day, they still wander in and expect me to change my mind. And I know that even though they're like, oh, we're not going to squirt each other, I know that they will. So I just thought it was kind of funny because they're playing a zombie game and they're wanting to pretend to shoot these zombies. And I'm like, why can't you just pretend to shoot the zombies with the squirt guns? Like, why do we have to have water involved? So, and he was just like, oh, I don't know. So, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. They just keep asking me every single day. It's like clockwork. And I wanted to share that because I know a lot of my videos don't have audio. I've mentioned before that I suffer from anxiety since my son has passed away. And so we always have music playing. We always have something going in the background. And I can't really include a lot of audio, but I just wanted to include that little snippet so you can kind of hear some of the silly conversations that we have going on behind the scenes. I actually don't usually make lasagnas. It's not that it's new to me or anything because I have made them before, but I hardly ever make them now. My mom is really, really good at making lasagnas. I swear that hers are the absolute best. So I usually get out of having to make them. A lot of times she will make 2 lasagnas at a time and she'll give me the second one. So if we want it for dinner that night, we can have it, or we pop it in the freezer for another night. I am glad that even though I didn't have a lot of the ingredients, I mean, I guess I did have most of them, it just wasn't noodles, but I'm glad I went ahead and made this anyway. Instead of going out and just getting something quick, I'm really trying to get away from that kind of lifestyle. So I'm glad I just went ahead and did it anyway. When we lived up in the Chicago area, everything is so easily accessible there. And so it was so easy to eat out. And like, if you didn't have the ingredients for something, it was so easy just to be like, okay, let's just go grab something. So I'm glad that here it is a little bit more difficult, especially in the winter months. There's days where like we can't even leave our house, but it really forces you to eat more at home, and that is really something that I have wanted to achieve for so many years. And I do see a lot of people struggle with that, where it's a financial burden because they're eating out so much or they're not understanding everything they're putting in the body, but it's just so convenient. So I do see a lot of that struggle, especially like from my friends that are still living up in the Chicago area. And that's why I like to share a lot of these meals, because a lot of them are family friendly and doable on a weeknight. This one was a little bit more tedious, but it's definitely doable if you have a little bit more time. The lasagna did get a little crispier than I was originally planning. I got kind of occupied while it was under the broiler, but we actually really like it like that. My husband and I, in particular, like it when it's crispier. And I was a little nervous about the kids not liking it, but they actually said that was their favorite part. So it ended up turning out just fine, and everybody really enjoyed it. I am making garlic bread now. This is bread that I baked a little earlier this week. So it is starting to get harder and it needed to be used up pretty quickly. When I have bread like this that needs to be used up, I usually will make it into like croutons for salads, or I'll do breadcrumbs, and if I don't need them immediately, I'll just throw them in the freezer for next time. But it ended up working out perfectly tonight for some garlic bread instead. I put a pretty thick smear of butter on each slice, and then I topped them with garlic, Italian seasoning, and an Italian cheese mixture. Then I put them in the oven until they were crunchy. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. I know that today's video was a little short and pretty simple, but I wanted to get on here and share, especially since I didn't do that very much last week. So I wanted to just give a little bit of an update, what we've been up to. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.